Yeah.
Okay, this is the public meeting of the Board and Water and Wastewater Commissioners, the Harwich Water Department, Tuesday, July 28th, 2026 at 9 a.m. So we will start the agenda with public comments or any announcements. Hearing none, we're going to move the minutes to our next meeting for our approval. So item 3, abatements, 7 Perry Way. That's for you, okay?
Yes, listen, we never spend, I don't have a strictly nothing, I don't have nothing, because before years ago we used it, but that's a lot of money, so I closed, so we don't use it.
Okay.
So the grass is clean now, nothing. It's only my son and me.
Okay.
It never happened. Before before years ago, we had 6 people living, nobody, because I divorced, only my son and me.
Okay.
I surprised was they said 2,275. Oh my God, a lot, nothing. So when I came here, he said, oh, I think they changed the meter, but nothing happened. Always continue for us. And then when I came here, so I closed my faucets in the two toilets, the toilets, and when I said, oh, everything is stopped. He said, no, I closed the faucet. He said, no, open again. So they gave me a little pill, put it at night in the tank, put it in the night, and then check in the bonnet. I did. Everything fine. Clear the water. I have the picture. And I record the meter, everything. I record, clear the water in the toilet, and the tank, blue. I took a picture, I said, okay, you have to come in with the meter. So.
Okay. First off, I just want to clarify something. On the total bill amount, is this 1275.18?
It's 1388.14.
1388.14, because in the application for abatement,
Right.
it says 1275.18. Okay. So I think we have to work off this application, right? And then in our notes, we had a meter issue with this, Jason, or?
So, when we first got e-coders into the department, the original models were flashlight only, so they had an infrared flashlight, and you had to come back into the office, pick up the little flashlight, gain access to the meter in order to use the flashlight on the head. We only have, I think, maybe 3 or 4 left in the entire system. So he had one of those, we're like, whenever we see one, we're getting it out of there, because we shouldn't have to gain access to activate, the new coders. We can just drive by and data log anytime. So we wanted to do this because we wanted to monitor freely, whenever, without having to access every single time with a flashlight. So this one was, they couldn't get the flashlight to work to activate it so we could download the data. And it turned out that we just had to replace the batteries in the flashlight. But we changed it out anyway because there's a new model in there where we can gain the data log reports anytime now. So when we downloaded the data from the flashlight model, it confirmed that there was a continuous leak. And since the heads only hold 96 days of data, we can't know how far back before the 96 days the leak may have started. But the report clearly shows there was a continuous leak prior to the April date on your report. And then the report also shows that it stopped on June 4th. And since that time, we've data logged again and it's clean. The problem stopped. We don't know what the problem was, but the report clearly showed the continuous leak all the way up until the June 4th date, and then it stopped.
So the continuous leak plus the failure of this meter?
There's no failure of the meter.
There's
The
no
meter
failure?
was working fine.
It's pulling all the data?
Yes, it was, yes.
The data's correct?
Yes, yes.
Okay, Noreen?
So when we look at the eCoda log report, I noticed at the last regular meter reading on March 18th, It was a fairly normal reading. It was only 8,000 gallons. And per this report, which starts on April 2nd, there was an ongoing leak on April 2nd. So what that says to me is that there was an event, or the initiation of an event, that began after March 18th and before
Before June.
April 2nd.
Okay.
And then whatever that event was, it ceased on June 4th. So something happened in those 2 weeks from March 19th to April 2nd, as you see on this.
Right.
Don't know what.
Well, I just have a question of the owner. What changed on June 5th? It looks like it's between June 5th and June 6th that the numbers changed substantially. Like June 4th, June 5th, and June 6th is when the numbers go from roughly 3,000 down to 183.
Is-
So,
you wanna
question
answer
of the
that?
owner, what happened between June 4th and June 6th? What happened at your house between June 4th and June 6th?
Nothing.
Well, the leak stopped between June 4th and June 6th.
Let me tell you something. I can't believe nothing and nothing. It's nothing. We don't clean car, nothing. I don't know. That's nothing. I had no answer.
Okay.
And I record the mirror, the basement, the mirror, and they saying no change, nothing. Everything fine. I don't know.
Okay.
I swear, I'm not. I don't know. How can I sleep? I don't know.
So
Nothing.
on March, right around March 18th, between March 18th and June 4th, that's where the leak period of time was. And you weren't aware of any of that? That you didn't,
I
you
don't
couldn't
know.
hear the toilets running or?
No,
any of that?
nothing, no run, no nothing, no dripping, any faucet, nothing, because I always on home, because I'm not working. Always on home and checking, my son is not on home, but I don't know happy, I don't know what's happened.
And so you reported this when you got your bill?
Yes, when I see the big bill, oh my God, what's this?
Okay.
Because always I pay 150 or something like that, it's fine. I said, I'm gonna pay, ma'am, because I don't want it, because sometimes I have to go out. I don't want, so when he said bill report, oh my God, what's that?
Okay, Noreen?
I noticed from the record that, like 2 years ago and also 3 and 4 years ago, there were higher amounts, particularly at the September 30th reading. But you don't have any irrigation?
No, nothing,
Okay.
nothing.
It's interesting then that, did you own the house in 2020?
Yes.
Okay, because you had bills of $670.
Oh yeah, because at that time I used irrigation. He said,
Okay,
no, that's too much money.
okay.
I
So
don't care because
when did you
I
stop?
spend money, the grass, no, that's no work for me. I'm not working, so it's not good. So
Right.
now it's kill everything. So,
When did you stop using irrigation?
almost 2 years, almost 2 years.
Okay, that's what it looks like exactly
years,
on,
yes.
exactly on the records. So, I don't know how you turned your irrigation off, but just because you stopped,
everything from outside
just
and inside.
because you stopped using it, doesn't mean there couldn't be a leak in your irrigation.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
I have a concern that when you reported this, then we had a problem on our side too, right?
The flashlight?
The flashlight, yeah, we couldn't,
So we reported it. It came across our billing report as a high usage, and we alerted the customer. And we gained access, we set an appointment to gain access so that we could shine the flashlight. Unbeknownst to us, the batteries were dead in the flashlight. So we changed it, we put a new one in, we brought it back to the shop to see if we could activate it. And that's when Steve changed the batteries and we were able to get the data. That's all it was, dead batteries. So
Dead batteries in the flashlight.
in the flashlight.
Not
The
the-
meter itself is fine because it extracted the data just fine.
so we didn't replace the meter or anything.
We put a new one in because we don't use the flashlight meters anymore because it's old technology, because we have to physically get into the property. The e-coders we use now, we don't have to have an appointment, which is a bit cumbersome because a lot of our customers are not year-round. So in
Right.
order to gain access, it is a bit tricky sometimes. And we want to always have the ability to read it whenever we want in data log without having an appointment. So that's why we're getting that system.
Do we think this is an irrigation leak or it's a toilet leak?
It could even, I mean, it's difficult to say because we don't know what happens at properties, but we have also, over the years, heard about outdoor spigots being left on, you know.
But particular to
just-
this case?
Well, as far as the toilets, the owner did indicate to us that 3 of the 5 toilets are actually turned off. So we're not sure if, when the tests were done, the valves were actually turned back on, so that the dye had a chance to get through, and why the toilets are off. So we're kind of a little bit fuzzy on the toilet situation.
I'd still like to go back to this June 4th to June 6th time period because something changed on the property. I mean, and.
Something was turned off.
Yeah, something was turned off.
I don't know what.
Well, somebody turned something off.
Did you turn any toilets off then? Did you turn any of the toilets off?
No, let me see. In the winter time, when I'm going to my country, I clear the faucets, the three toilets. I never use it. Only use it, my toilet in my son's room. That's it. I don't know what happened. And I check the bill. I never. I surprised when I see the bill. I come in and say, oh my God, what's this? I called, my son called, and he said, no, I'm gonna go direct here. So when I came here, she gave me ideas. Put this thing in the tank. I did.
When you put the dye in the back of the tank, did you turn the water onto
No,
it?
later on. Later on, when I put the little.
But you had to, in order for that to work, you have to turn the water onto it.
I did, yes.
So you can't just pour water into the tank.
No. I opened the faucet, run it all night, and I put the pin, and everything was blue. And right now, it's open. It's not leak at the toilet. I'm gonna continue. Because it's no way always, when you're using the toilet, have to, no. Now leave it open. After the pin that she gave it to me. I put it, she said, no, the toilet's fine, it's not leaking, no leaking, no nothing. I don't know, nothing. I know you said, we don't clean car, nothing. So we don't only for shower, and the toilet does it, if I clean the ditch.
Do we still have the meter over there?
Ed, do you have any
We
questions?
should.
Can you tell me what the average, his bill was before this leak, his average bill?
We should have a copy of the usage report. If you don't have one, yeah, that's it.
Okay. So you're asking to just have the whole 1275 wiped out, even including your regular bill? Is that correct?
Excuse me?
Which amount here? You have 1275.18. Is that the amount you're asking for us to wipe out? But that wouldn't include just even a regular bill.
The regular bills are always on 150 every 3 months. I don't know, because we know it's a lot of water, but it's a lot of money. It's crazy. I don't know what happened. I don't know.
What would a disaster rate cost us, or if the board wanted to entertain doing something like that as an option?
What's that, tier?
Tier 1
Tier 1.
at the moment.
Okay, do we know an amount, what that would be?
Not offhand, no.
We would just do an internal adjustment down to the base rate, excluding the typical bill and the base charge.
Okay.
Of course, we don't know that it's not irrigation.
We don't know what's going on there, and something changed on June, I'll say it again,
June 4th,
something changed on June 4th.
Yeah, it's
and-
a problem for me.
And also,
Sometimes-
something changed between March 18th and April 2nd to initiate the event.
What I'd recommend is, if we have the meter, we still most likely have the meter because we shelf it, is send it out to get tested.
Okay,
Okay.
go ahead.
No, I agree. I mean, if you have a concern that there might have been an equipment issue, let's just send it out to get
Well,
tested, and if it's fine.
I do want to give our customer credit for, when he saw the bill, he came in, and he's tried to take action.
Uh-huh.
So I want to give him credit for that. And then I think just try to get a resolution here, and we do have an equipment issue that maybe this rises to the level of going to a tier 1 disaster, and hopefully,
But I still want to know what happened between June 5th and June 6th, because something
Yeah,
happened to
right,
solve
right,
the
okay, I don't
problem.
know.
We have no information what he did to solve the problem, and
It look like it's been water.
okay, well, we can continue this to the next meeting
Yeah,
and
I
do some
agree.
more research.
Yeah,
I would just add that the extraction of the data by the flashlight method or whatever method would have no impact on the reading. Is that correct, Wellesley?
Correct.
Yeah, so,
it's not an equipment failure issue, in other words, but
Well-
something I'd still like to hear from the homeowner, I don't know how to communicate this any differently, but we need to know what happened between June 4th and June 6th, because obviously something happened at the house that solved the problem.
Okay,
You're
well,
unaware.
you want to send the meter out for testing. I would like to continue this, sir, and can you and your son try to look around and see if you can see anything that would have happened that would have caused anything? Do you have, Dan, do you have a question?
When did
I
the
was
guy
just
come?
thinking, if he was trying to troubleshoot the toilet, if, when he shut it off in March, there was a tiny leak by that wouldn't trip the float in the toilet, that it could have led, and then, depending on when he did the dye test or someone used the toilet, it could have corrected itself.
Right.
I mean, the flapper valves and stuff.
Okay,
Mm.
one more
Go ahead.
question.
I believe Tracy may have talked with the gentleman about a tiny trickle that was found at
okay.
one point.
Maybe a little bit. Did you notice any of the dye coming from, a little bit of the dye in one of the toilets moved down to the bowl? Not a lot, but a little bit?
No, nothing,
Okay.
no, nothing.
Noreen?
Were you in,
I thought was the bed there, check if the toilet is fine. I closed the faucet before, closed the faucet. And then when I came here, he said, everything, can you check it? No, everything is fine, everything is good. He said, no, but you have to open, that's not right. You have to
Yeah,
open the
open them all
faucet.
up.
And she gave me a pill. At night tonight, put pill inside at any time, but open everything. And tomorrow, in the morning, I let him, like at 5, 9 o'clock in the morning, I check it. No water, nothing. So I took pictures. And the whole toilet, I did the same. And then I went to the mirror, right, everything is ta. My son was not home, nothing. Just ta, nothing.
Noreen?
So I
okay, sir, when did you return to your property this spring?
When I returned,
Well, you said
Do
you
you
left
lose-
the country,
oh, I
correct?
left the country, it was in the winter,
Right, and when did you return to
In February.
your home?
in February.
February?
February?
Okay.
In February.
And how long were you gone? Were you-
Oh, for like 20 days,
Oh, 20 days,
20
okay.
days.
So, should you maintain the house?
Excuse me?
You maintain the house, you and your son, you live there?
My son is
full
staying
time?
in home.
Okay.
My son is staying
So you were here during the blizzard?
in the day.
We had a terrible blizzard the last
what-
week
Oh,
in
yes.
February.
In the winter?
Yes,
The
it
winter?
was the last week in February. Were you
I
here
was
for
here.
the,
I
you
was
were
here.
here for
I
that?
was here, I was here. Yeah, the last week because I had to shower. He said, I can't hear because I want to make up company my son. Because I can't stay in Colombia. He said, shower a lot February. So, I always on hon. If I check everything really, because if I little book, I take the water. Always I check everything because, for me, no, I leave it there, so I have to check everything. So, but I surprised with the bill. I said, what happened? They don't know running. They said, no, I'm going to check if something happened in leaky or water. Nothing. I close the heat down to make it no noise. Nothing. So, I don't know.
I'd move to continue this
Okay.
and to ask for more information about what happened between June
You
4th
good?
and June 6th, because that's when the problem was solved.
Are you good with that, Ed?
Yep.
Okay, Noreen?
What
Okay, so,
what was it?
do we need a motion to continue this to the next meeting, Jason?
Would you like me to send the meter out to get tested?
Yes,
Okay, that's fine.
I don't think it hurts. The other thing I'd like to know is what the figure would be on the disaster rate, so we could get an actual number if we want to talk about that. So are you okay with us continuing this to our next meeting, and you'll cooperate with trying to find more information and
Yes.
working with our guys to figure it out?
June 4th to June 6th.
Check with
Yeah.
your son too, to see if
Absolutely.
he knows anything
I think we
that
have to go
happened
further
June
back, but
6th.
yeah, on those dates.
Because he always,
Well, that's when
he
the
wasn't
numbers
going to be here
change.
because he
So, right.
checked everything.
Yeah, I know.
That's when the numbers changed,
I
because
know.
something happened in the house. What happened in the house?
Yeah.
Okay.
My son and I think
They
that's
solved
right.
the problem, they're not telling you what the problem was.
Tell us
It's
about
not
it.
baby, not
Right
no,
here.
no, he always checked the puppy, he checked everything. He had
Okay.
it.
Okay, so we're going to continue this till our next meeting, which is going to be, did we set that meeting yet? The next meeting?
We have not.
No.
Okay, we set our meetings at the end of this one, so we will notify you and we'll continue this. Okay?
You know, it helped the customer if he, I don't know, if they send every man, because every man, if you see the high, oh my God, come in here. But if you let it go, you don't know.
Yeah, we understand. We just want to do a thorough
Yeah.
investigation of what's happened between what you found certain days, how we responded, and what was going on there, so we can get a little clearer picture, and then next time you come back, we'll have more information and we'll make a final decision.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah, because it's scared, because I'm retired, so when my son got to college, maybe in December, I wanna go 3 months out. I wanna spend winter here alone, me at home. So I scared, because if something happen, I don't know, and then the bill come every month. So because I pay in the town more money to they can discount for my account.
We understand, believe me, we'll try and work with you, and if it works out, we have to do a payment plan, or whatever we have to work out, the staff will help you on that.
Okay, I understand.
But just help maintain your property, and try to look at it from inside
Oh,
and
yes.
out, where anything could possibly happen that would inflate these
I
numbers.
check everything.
Okay, and then we'll get back at the next meeting and try to work something out, and figure out where we are.
Are you on our seasonal service? Wellesley, can you explain it better than I?
I believe someone's in the house
They
year-round.
live,
They live there year-round.
Oh,
There's someone always in.
no, I heard you talking about being careful when you went away, so never mind.
yeah, okay. And he's on our other service about the water pipes, or from the meter?
Oh, no, the service type.
You might explain that to him too,
We can send
Yeah.
some information.
and then we'll
Yeah.
discuss this at our next meeting. Is that okay?
Okay.
Okay, thank you for coming in.
But I'm going
And explaining all this.
I'm going to check everything, make sure for surprise. I don't know, never happened, never, I don't know.
We're hearing you.
And the time is too short, because it's not 1 year or 6 months, it's too short or something. It's like running water. If you running water, no matter what, before, when I used to sprinkling, years ago, I used to 4 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock, and then later night, never, nothing. Everything is fine. But for me, every 600, it's too much money. Every 3 months, it's too much money. So I go close.
I'm sorry, I forget what your name was. Did you tell us?
Mario.
Mario.
Money.
Okay, Mario, we're gonna have to move on here. We hear you, and we're gonna just
Well, thank
work
you.
together and
So now
work with
you
our
go?
staff. You
Yeah.
can go.
Have a good day. Thank
We're
you.
not gonna grab you or
Bye-bye.
anything. Thank you.
If I could suggest something, Bob, why don't we move on to the Weston Sampson and the GHD, whichever.
I think,
Really quick.
yes. What's that?
The generator one is really fast.
Okay, that's 6 of the agenda
Thank
on this.
you.
Okay, generator,
I'll make a motion that I do have one question for discussion, but I'll make a motion that we approve the generator contract with FM Generator for $45,500.
Could I ask where the generator is going to be located? I didn't see that in the application.
Home station number 4.
Okay, thank you.
do I have a second?
And my question is, I was going to ask Sandy, so this, what's the funding source of this, Jason?
That came out of last year's budget. We put that into, we encumbered that money.
From what line?
Out of the line item. I'm not really sure right now,
Okay.
but Sandy and I went through that.
Okay. Thanks.
Do you want to hold this?
No.
Okay. Then we have a motion and a second on the floor. Take a vote. Ed?
Aye.
Maureen?
Aye.
And I'm an aye. Motion passes Okay,
Thank you.
Weston and Sampson, you're up.
Do
Or you want to go GHD first?
GHD, they're gonna be quicker, I think,
Okay.
than Weston and
Okay.
Sampson will be.
You're up.
If that works.
No, that makes sense.
Okay, so,
Introduce the team, Kevin.
Introduce the team, get up and give us a song and dance here.
Here we go.
all right, so, Jeff Gregg, GHD, project director, working on several projects for the town of Harwich, both for the water department and for the town. And with me today is Jessica Janney, who is gonna be the project manager, on the two water main projects. So on the 28th, both phase 1 and phase 2. And then I've got Kristen Magus, who just joined us, and she's also going to be assisting on those projects.
And what are the titles?
On the water main.
I'm sorry?
What's her title? What's her title?
I'm gonna be the project engineer.
She's a
project
engineer.
Yep. Then we have other staff that work on the projects, but this is sort of the primary group. We will have, Dan is going to be our RPR on the east side and on the west side. And
He's
then-
our RPR.
And then, but he's, you know, enforcing our specs.
Yes, yes.
Without money.
We're gonna be relying on Dan to be getting us that information. And then we're gonna also have a contract RPR for the sewer work on the west side. So.
RPR?
Resident project representative. So Dan will be doing both waters, and then we'll have sewer because it's SRF funded, so we were going to have a MBWB DB firm that was going to be providing that as part of the 6 good faith efforts that we need to meet for the SRF money for that project. So I had a sort of quick update on each of the projects.
Okay.
But I don't know if you had other questions before we move on with regards to the staffing.
As long as you got them. That's my, oh, you have,
Good.
Noreen?
Yeah. Well, I'll wait till,
Well, no,
there may be a more important time.
Okay.
Okay. So, as you know, the phase 1 project has quasi-started, the contract's been awarded through Mass DOT. CC Construction's going to be running that project, or going to be the contractor for that project. We have reached out to MassDOT to try to solicit a meeting for us and the water department, Dan, to meet with them to kind of go over logistics, because in all honesty, they've been sort of very quiet, and we, to be honest, don't know much about what's going on with the project. We've reached out a number of times, so we reached out again to get their schedule. The only reason we even remotely know what their schedule is because we're working with CC on other projects, and just reached out to them to kind of get some backdoor information on what that's going on. So from our understanding, they're supposed to start this winter, and they're going to go through, do the water, then they're going to do the sewer, and it sounded like they were going to be done that section somewhere in April of next year. And then, let's see, so that's pretty much what I had on the phase 1. On the phase 2 project, so on the east project, you just signed the notice of award, so we're sending that over to the contractor. We're going to be coordinating with them to get all the documents signed on their end. Then we'll get those returned to us. Then we're going to review their insurance requirements and all the other things, make sure they've signed everything. What we need to know from the board is when you're, if you need to sign those at a meeting, or did we just provide the documents and then you guys sign them at your convenience? We just need to know for logistics.
I'd rather do a meeting. So.
Okay,
Yeah, Noreen?
before we get there, now you got to the part that I have questions on. So I guess my question would be for Ms. Janney. Hi. I was wondering if you could comment on the letters from the vendor McNaughton that was disqualified for not attending, but yet his bids were open. There were two letters, maybe two, one before and one after.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know if you saw the one of July 9th, you weren't on it.
I believe it was forwarded to me.
Okay, so if you could tell us a little bit about what happened that day.
Sure. So at the bid opening, so as part of all bid advertisements that were put out by the town, you know, on combis and Central Register and local newspapers, there was a mandatory pre-bid advertised.
Right.
And attendance was mandatory for all, you know, bidders that wanted to bid on the project. C. Naughton did not attend that mandatory pre-bid, and which was on, I believe, June 17th. And they actually pulled plans after the pre-bid, so I believe it was June 24th. So their letters, you know, are trying to get the town to waive the mandatory pre-bid requirement, is how I understand it.
So they pulled the bid around the 24th, but why did you open the bid on June 30th?
Yes, I probably, in hindsight, I probably should have not opened it at all. Probably, in hindsight, we probably shouldn't even given them plans.
Shouldn't have what?
We shouldn't have given them a bid package.
Right,
Right.
that's true.
I mean, that makes sense now.
Did anyone respond to Naughton?
I had a phone conversation with Stephanie, I don't know her last name, from C. Naughton. She was just calling to see if there was any way for that mandatory pre-bid to be waived. We had since talked to Jason, and he said the town was not going to waive that requirement. So I let her know that, and then I think that's when the letter came out.
Right. It's unfortunate, as we know, because they were actually the lowest bidder. So we could possibly have saved ourselves $300,000, which is unfortunate. Okay, well, thank you for that information. My second question is, we signed the notice to award at our last meeting. Am I hearing that that has not yet been given to Diggett?
I emailed it off yesterday.
Yeah.
What was the problem with from 2 weeks ago to yesterday? It seems to me, you know, this project started in like 2021. We've had 6 or 7 different project managers. We've had a million delays from the Department of Transportation, and then other people point a lot of fingers about, you know, what caused other delays. But if we just lost 2 weeks from the 14th to the 27th, of getting Diggett ready to be able to give us the information on their construction schedule and things like that, when we're going to be having an info meeting next month and starting construction on our biggest highway in the middle of September, I would have thought that that notice to award would have been a high priority document.
That was me.
That
That was me. I'll
Okay.
take that.
All right.
Yes, I just got that, I just understood that the other day. We put that document together and we got it right to them.
Okay.
But that was,
Right.
that is on me.
Right.
Yes.
It's on you, but our project team, I think, would have been looking for it. Did they seek it out from you?
I went to Tracy, I do believe I may have, I talked
No,
with
I-
Jeff
yeah, Jeff,
last.
So we've been communicating.
Yes.
The other day, Jess sent out a reminder to Jason saying that we hadn't seen the notice of award, so we wanted to get that out. So
Yes.
so we've been coordinating.
Right. Who sent that out? You said somebody
I
sent
believe
it?
Jess
I
sent the
sent it
email
out
to
today.
I
Jason.
sent,
Yeah.
and I
And
sent
then he
it back
responded
to,
immediately.
Yeah,
So we
okay.
got it then.
All right.
So-
You know, it's hard. We've had, you know, Jessica's new, but we've literally, the last time we had a presentation from GHD on this project, actually wasn't to us. It was a public presentation in June of 2025 by Bob Drake.
Right. We got one from him here too.
Prior to that.
Yeah.
And then the previous fall, we were supposed to have an in-depth conversation, and instead Bob told us that he was told by management to just make it quick and easy. That would have been the September 4th, 2024 meeting.
So I guess what I'd like to say is, I'd like to apologize for the service that you received at that point. That's not the way I operate. I wasn't the project manager, I wasn't the project director, I'm not making excuses, I am now. If you have an issue or a concern, Jason knows how to get a hold of me. You guys can reach out to me with any of those questions and comments and concerns, and I will respond. Jess and I have been working on construction for a long, long time together. We appreciate the fact that even if we don't have the answer, I respond usually within the day unless I didn't see the email or the correspondence because I was in meetings or whatever. But I try to get back. I don't know, Jason, if you feel that have been responsive enough to you at this point. I know we haven't worked with the committee, but...
Since the changing of God, yes, I would say that you have been responsive.
So
With myself, with Dan, with putting some meetings together and...
So, our goal is to get this project
Right.
completed, done, successful.
In my lifetime.
Yes, and, we had Dan prepared the presentation we gave to the select board. I don't know, that was probably in June, was that in June of this year? That was probably the last one we just did.
I think it was, yeah.
That wasn't on this project.
No, it was on this project.
Yeah, the June,
The June,
first
it
public
was
outreach.
June 10th.
That was on, excuse me, wasn't that the one on the draft CWMP?
No, there was another one, but there was one that we did on.
I'm sorry, Dan, your presentation wasn't memorable.
Because we both presented on an update on that project.
Oh, at the June 10th info
June-
meeting?
Yes.
Oh,
Info
yes,
meeting,
yeah,
yep.
yeah. I know that.
But I think that was it. Wasn't that a select board?
No, it
No.
was just a,
Was it? Oh, it was just an info. I can't remember.
Yeah.
They're starting to blend together.
Not memorable to you, Jeff.
I know.
Well, I think that we need this board, or this commission is gonna be watching. We wanna, the
Yeah.
dates held to, we don't wanna do delays. We brought Dan on board for this reason, so we had somebody
Understood.
working together, so we do expect updates.
And
You
if I
kept
could
in the
complete
loop.
my thought, yeah.
Okay.
I thank you for what you said, and it's difficult, but I'm willing to give GHD another chance in this, even though it'll be the fifth or sixth chance. But this project is so important to us. When I came on the board in 2021, this project was already in progress, and now it's 2026.
It's 25 years later.
So, we've had other things with paperwork, like the contract for Phase 1 with Bob Drake in February of '24. He submitted a contract to us that was both for sewer and water. We explained to Bob that, no, we cannot sign for sewer, and that was in February. We never got a corrected contract until September of that year. So the bar is very low that you and Jessica have to surpass. But on the other hand,
I think it got higher.
our tolerance is also extremely low. So both sides will have to work and on that. And Dan is our RPR.
No, I understand. But I guess the way I look at it is, we're using him as our eyes and ears in the field, because since the RPR is being provided
Right.
through the water department, we now have to rely on what he's seeing and observing. Obviously, we'll send someone out periodically. Kristen's gonna be going out there periodically to meet with, Dan on certain issues and things like that, but, we have to pretty much be working hand in hand with Dan to make sure.
We just want to make sure contracts are done timely, and if we need to be involved, it gets to us.
So I guess with that, before I go through the rest of our items here, what would the board like in terms of updates with regards to, do you want monthly updates, weekly updates, what form,
I would say, why don't you guys, your team, get together with Jason and find out what's the appropriate update, or
Right.
if we need them. bring them to us as soon as possible, with practicable, probably. We don't want to waste anybody's time with just, updates that don't mean anything, but if you got something to say, bring it to us, and so we know.
I'd like to provide input on that. I actually really like the way the select board presents this administrative report on the phases that are going on with the sewer project. And I think it would be helpful for us to know how the phases are proceeding for the water main replacement project in a similar way, just like we get together for a meeting, here's the update on that project. And it doesn't necessarily have to come from you, Jeff. If it came from Jason, that's totally fine, but just getting an update on where the project stands at that moment, I think would be really helpful.
Yeah, in my superintendent's report, I will have an update of basically where they are, what phase 1 and phase 2, what they're doing, how much water main has been put in, and and just a scope of work and where they're at.
Thank you.
That will be every other week.
I'm gonna do it, yeah, it will be every other week, but I'm gonna do it at every commissioners meeting.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
I think you got a lot more to say?
Oh, I wanted to get back to the question with regards to signing of the contracts. So once we've reviewed those, once we get them back from Digit, have gone through those documents, we have the signature page all set, with the exception, we had a question about, do you need to have legal counsel review it as well or sign off on it? It has the finance director's signature. We just want to know if we need to change that page before we give it to the contractor to sign. So right now, it's contractor signs, then it's all the board, and then it's the finance director is signing it.
We have not required legal counsel's signature on our contracts in the past.
Okay.
Dan, you were here many years, as long as we have the finance directors sign off on that, that would be fine. And as to our participation, something like that would have to be voted by the board and then signed, so it would have to be on the agenda of board activity.
So what's, and I apologize, I don't know the frequency of your meetings.
You're doing-
2 weeks.
Every 2 weeks, right now at least, yeah.
So-
And Jason, you'd work with them, right, to place it on the agenda?
Yeah, I'll work with you, put it on the agenda, and basically, Digit will sign it, our finance director will sign it, and then the board will sign it.
So we need to get the finance director to sign it first?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Can we coordinate that through you,
Yep.
Jason?
Yep.
Okay, all right. So what we need to do is, once we get over to Digit and get the documents to them, we have them pretty much all assembled, we're just gonna insert the notice of award. Then we just need to find out when they're, it's a function of when they turn them around to get them back to us. We gotta take a look at them just to make sure, because we always fight with them on insurance requirements, and then once that's squared, then we can start the process to go through to get them signed up.
Has Jason seen a draft of it yet? The reason I ask is because during the last 3 years, every single contract that we've gotten from GHD has had errors in the introduction, like it calls us Board of Selectmen, it says we live at 732 Main Street, things like that. So Jason could quickly scan it, because otherwise you'll have Digit sign it and we won't be able to sign it.
So when you sent over, did you send the whole agreement? Yeah, so you got that in the
Okay.
email the other day. So,
I'll look it
Okay.
over.
Okay.
Good. Anything else?
I guess the formal notice, the contractor can't do any work until, I believe it's the week after Labor Day.
The
or
8th,
maybe it's the
September 8th.
What would you like us to issue as the notice to proceed date?
Are we ready to do a notice, or we're still waiting on your contract? And
How is the traffic after?
Well,
Because the
we wanna have
8th
a
is,
notice to proceed in the contract.
So,
It could be
our
just doing
contracts are done. This is the contract for the contractor.
Yeah.
So it's really the notice to proceed for the contractor to begin work. They tend to send us stuff regardless of whatever the date is, but that's the formal date that their contract time starts.
I would do the 8th.
So this is, we're talking about the east side, phase 2?
Correct.
Okay, so where are they gonna begin? Is it at the bridge?
they have a choice. So the restrictions, we went over this with Jason, they have time of year restrictions. So they need to
Right.
get the directional drill done between December and April 1st because of the landing. They can either start at the west side at the bridge, or they can start at the east side. It's their choice. We asked them to work in segments. I'm sorry.
But no, the reason I ask is determining a date to proceed, when we're talking about Route 28, you know, it's helpful to know which part of Route 28 they're starting on. If they're starting at South Street, right in the middle of Harwich,
The problem is that we can't, it's chicken or the egg. So they're not gonna give me a schedule until they have a contract, so.
Right.
And as part of the contract, I have to establish what the notice to proceed
Okay.
date is.
So could the notice of proceed be on our next meeting, or this contract for approval? 'Cause
no, if it's
Why
going to be
couldn't
part
it?
of the contract, correct?
So.
Well, if he has the contract and it's in there and you're reviewing it, and it will be on our agenda the next meeting, we should be
I
able
think,
to.
well, I
I
think we
think the
can,
general condition states that you can do a notice to proceed 30 days after the bid opening, but no later than 60 days, no later, 30 days after the signed agreement, but no later than 60 days after the bid opening. So if the bid opening was June 30th, we shouldn't issue a notice to proceed later than August 30th.
Okay, so it should be on our agenda,
Yeah.
if it can be there.
I'm
with this
unclear.
notice.
Are you saying that the notice to proceed document is part of the
so
contract?
we'll incorporate that,
We can send it out after,
yes.
yes.
All right,
And
I'm-
then they basically insert it.
But
That's a
the
legal
issue is
notice.
they're not gonna necessarily get us a schedule without knowing what that notice, well, A, they gotta know what the notice to proceed date is,
Okay.
because that establishes the beginning of their schedule. And, you know, we could get a preliminary idea
Right,
of where they're
that's
starting.
fine. I'm just trying to understand, for the sake of how things go through the town. Is the notice to proceed normally part of the contract?
Well, it gets incorporated into the contract documents, but it doesn't necessarily have to be, as just said, issued when the contract is
I
handed
see.
over to them.
So is it signed separately?
It is.
Separate set of signatures on it? Okay.
And it's our signatures.
Correct.
Correct.
Right.
Okay,
So-
so we're under this time frame now.
So mobilization is at the beginning, let's say, we say September 8th, just the day after, basically.
So
Right.
it's so right now,
If they mobilize September 8th, they're not putting buckets in the ground till the following
Right.
week, most likely.
Your stage.
yeah, so that's why, so part of the discussion is also, do we want to have the notice of proceed date prior to, they can't work on Route 28 until the 8th.
Right.
Right.
But do we want to have the notice of proceed date be in August, set our pre-con meeting, because we want to have our pre-con and all that stuff done
Before.
before
Our public
the 8th,
meeting.
so that they could conceivably get rolling as soon as they're allowed to work in 28. The sooner they're on 28, the sooner they get off 28.
Right.
I think we should pick, my opinion is we should pick our notice to proceed today, because anything that helps them do their own planning and their own staging and setup, if we're not gonna get, that's why I was trying to figure out with the contractor.
so if we
If we're
send it
not
to-
gonna
we
get
send-
any more data,
Yeah.
I mean, we won't sign the form today because we don't have it, but if we can verbally tell them a date, what would be wrong with that?
There's nothing wrong, and we could incorporate that as we're
Right.
sending them over the documents, they'd see what the date was going to be, and then we get that all signed.
But it needs to be in writing, so we should get it on our next agenda, right? The contract
No,
and the
we-
notice to proceed.
That will be, but verbally, we can tell
You
Jeff
could tell us
now
what the date is
if it's
that you'd
gonna
like
be
to
the
put in.
8th or the
We can
31st or
incorporate
the
that in.
16th.
Okay.
We can
And
incorporate
I
that
can put
into the
that into the
document.
form, and
And
then
that
the
way,
next
right,
meeting
they
it'll-
can start
yeah.
working.
I didn't think anything
What
would
would you
happen verbally,
recommend?
but
For a
okay.
start date of the 8th.
Yeah, because we haven't signed it, we can change our mind if we want.
In 2 weeks from now.
Yeah,
I think we need to get it done, is my point.
Right.
Let's get it,
Why don't we do the
both the
notice of
contract and the
proceed
date for
meeting
this
the 11th,
notice to
maybe
proceed.
tomorrow?
so,
I just asked him, what would you recommend, so
Right.
they can start on the 8th? That's-
And what
And then
is
we
it?
can see if we can, and then we can reach out to Diggett and set up a pre-con somewhere between the 12th and the end of the month, so we have time, you know, at the end of
And our
August.
informational meeting is.
Okay.
what date
Too
would you
many
recommend?
conversations
Well, wait
at
a
once.
second.
Jess was saying the 12th after your meeting.
So the next
after your next
commissioners' meeting is
commissioners'
August 11th, is that correct?
I'm not sure, I'm hearing too many
Well,
conversations
what was your
at once.
question?
Yeah.
Your next meeting is August 11th?
Is-
I have
did
no
we set
idea.
that?
I have no
Is-
idea.
Tracy, did we set that? When's our informational meeting? Isn't it
The
August?
20th, 20th.
Right, okay, so that definitely is a date we want to have that, so.
Okay, so you said something about 12th through the end of August in there?
Meaning if we issue the notice of,
Right.
notice to proceed.
Correct.
On August 12th, the day after your next meeting.
Okay,
Then
okay,
Then we
August
would, that
11th.
would give us time between then and the end of August to set up the pre-construction
Okay.
meeting with the contractor so that we could have all that done before they start on the 8th.
so my question is, what information will we have for our August 20th meeting? All right, so if you begin this work on the 12th, our meeting is on the 20th, what information will we have available in terms of their schedule to be able to tell them they are in fact starting at the bridge, or they are in fact starting at South Street, or something like that?
Well, we'll reach out to Diggett and find out how, how much,
Yeah. Last
they're
week.
gonna be already thinking about their schedule. So
Right.
we know that they've already thought about it. We're just not gonna get a formal schedule right away. So as soon as we can reach out today when we get back and
Right.
say,
So-
hey, the town would like to know, and for the 20th, we wanna set up, presuming that we issue a notice to proceed on the 12th. And we want to set up, we have a public outreach meeting on the 20th that we'd like them at, and then we'd have and then we want to set a pre-con. The town wants to know which end of the road they're going to start.
Right, so you said we don't expect to get their schedule right away, so when do you expect to get it?
We're required by contract, they're required by the contract documents to get it within 10 days, I think, of the notice to proceed.
Okay,
Okay, so that puts us,
So that,
we're going to have a discussion here, going back and forth, okay?
So I will say that it's like anything else, the contractor's either got a schedule or they're going to say, well, here's our preliminary schedule, and then the reality is, even though they hand us a schedule in the first 10 days, we typically then review the schedule because we go through and find all the places where they didn't listen to us at the mandatory pre-bid meeting that we had, where we went through all of the key dates and start times, and we'll find that they want to do the directional drill next year, and, we'll point out all the things that they can't do. So there is going to be some back and forth depending on, what the contractor gives us their schedule. If we're lucky, they gave us a schedule, they followed our instructions, and we'll have that, so.
Okay, so you have the contract getting to Jason, you're going to review it to
Yep.
make sure there's no errors, and then we have another meeting scheduled for August 11th with this notice to proceed. And during that time, things will come together and we'll have a more clearer picture.
Right, and
And so
basically.
we won't know everything until the 11th, which will proceed to our informational meeting. So it's going to, roll along until our next meeting. So I think we've got too many balls in the air here. I'd like to just set it,
And
you know.
we'll work and to see for the meeting, the public outreach meeting, where they're going to start.
Right.
right, and can I just say, it's a 2.5-year project, and, we're mincing with weeks here now. My own opinion is, we should just say September 8th, confirm that in writing in 2 weeks, that way it'll already be on the documents and go on from there. I don't see any point in possibly aggravating anybody by going before Labor Day, and,
They can't work on it.
Before.
So
I
just
understand that.
so
Okay.
The reason we wanted to issue the notice to proceed before that is so that they actually
Right.
have formal
Notice.
authorization to be doing stuff.
Right, they need that.
Most in our experience in construction, regardless of when, as soon as they know that they've been awarded the contract, we start getting shop drawings. And we're like, hey, well, you don't even have a
Right.
notice to proceed yet. And so we don't have any obligation to review any of the
Right.
things, but they want to get moving because they're trying to line up that kind of stuff. We're just trying to be a little more formal so that we would put them in a position so that they could conceivably be working under that schedule.
And my point is that it's a 2.5 to 3 year project, so I don't know if those 4 or 5 days are gonna be, or during the Labor Day weekend, are gonna result in a huge difference in the outcome of the project.
Well,
My
let's see.
opinion.
No, I don't, it's
Let's
just
see.
whether or not they, as long as they're fine with attending a pre-con before they have the notice to proceed to do work and things like that, that's
Why
fine
would they
with us.
do that?
Well, we're gonna get the notice of pre-con to do it on the 11th, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's our
Yeah.
goal. And then
And
the
you-
12th,
So maybe I'm confused.
Right.
but
yes.
It sounded like you wanted to issue the notice to proceed on the 8th, and.
No,
No,
So-
no.
But
That's
the
why I think
date
it's
to proceed
confused.
would be the 8th,
Right,
not to issue the notice on the 8th.
right. Well, no, we're gonna issue the notice on the
So
11th.
he's-
So the
This-
the date that we put on the notice to proceed is not the date that we issue the notice to proceed, it's the
Correct.
date that they can proceed.
Proceed.
Right.
Right, but
So
we
if
settle
we-
it on the 11th.
So, I guess
The
I'm,
notice, so
and
you
you
want
have
the
a comment?
notice to proceed on the 12th,
August 12th. is what I
August
think.
To be
12th.
issued,
To be issued on August 12th.
To be issued. No, it's to proceed.
Issued and the.
Proceed, yes.
and
No.
proceed.
So,
Yes.
but they're not gonna have any work to be done
Till the 8th.
until the 8th.
Right,
All this is background work.
Yes.
So from the 12th until the 8th, it's all being in the background on,
Yes.
on everything. That means set up a trailer for,
Yeah,
meetings, that's for finding,
getting their shop drawing started and
Yes.
things like that.
yes,
they
so
can
it's, so that's
roll.
all background.
right.
But they're not gonna start until the 8th, where they can start construction.
Okay, so you're
But if
gonna
you
put-
don't want construction during the 8th, you can say, okay, you can't start construction till the 15th,
don't confuse
Let's
us
stick with the
anymore.
8th for
You know.
now.
but the 8th right now.
Ed?
Yeah, so, on the 11th, we're gonna vote on approving the contract and
Right.
signing it. And in the contract, it'll have a date
The notice to proceed.
to proceed. And you can do it two ways. You can do a notice to proceed with, I don't know what you want to call it, but.
Conditions.
Background activity on the 12th of August with construction not to proceed before September 8th.
Yeah.
And that makes it clear,
Yeah.
you know, clearly authorizes them to be spending money and doing whatever they need to do on the 12th, rather
Right.
than put them
Right.
in a position where, I'm sorry, you're billing us for something that happened before the 8th, and so we're not paying for it.
So the date on the notice to proceed will be issued and to proceed on the 12th, both, or one on the 11th and one on the 12th
Yeah.
of August.
Okay, let's wrap this
Yeah.
portion up, I think, because you guys are gonna work together to get this contract, notice to proceed together and before us. You're gonna check for any mistakes, anything else. So you hear is of the essence, we all understand. So the 11th is the target date to have this all cleaned up and before us.
Can I say
Okay.
one more thing?
All right?
I imagine it's a long contract. Any earlier you can get it to us, for us to go through it and proof it and everything else, other than, or we won't be able to sign it on the 11th.
I think that was,
You have
So,
the con.
yeah,
He has
I
it.
can,
He's already got it.
email it to everybody.
yeah,
Thank you.
okay. All right, is that it?
One more,
Oh,
different topic.
Okay, we're sticking on this, okay, what's the topic?
Well, it's part of the project. Okay, so now we have Jeff and Dan here. Who is actually in charge, or who will be in charge of our webpage? That's something that's going to be important for us to discuss on August 20th.
I
So,
worked with Sandy on that.
Yeah.
So is it the water department? Is it GHD? Who's the responsible person on our information page?
Point the finger at me.
Okay.
I figured it would make sense for me to provide the updates. I can funnel them to Sandy for posting on the website.
And this is on the Harwich Water website, so we'll have to explain that. So what confuses me, which we can talk about in more detail next meeting, is that you're going to have the Harwich Water Route 28 stuff on the Harwich Water page, but yet I sense that the sewer project will actually be on the wastewater page, which now has 3A, and we'll have the sewer. So I don't know. I don't know if that's a good way to communicate. I'm not going to comment. It just concerns me.
If I could just propose something to put anything that involves Route 28 on the same page.
I know.
Because the phasing thing, it'll confuse the phasing
I
thing
know.
if you try to stick
I
it on the
know.
other side anyway.
It can be a
So I
separate
just think it
page.
makes the most sense to just keep it all on the water.
This is a design question, I believe. Right.
So we could keep it all on the water page. Just-
Well,
I don't think Jay will agree with that.
They're gonna happen at different times, like the water infrastructure is gonna go in, and then probably some period of time, and then low-pressure sewers, so I doubt people will be,
It's gonna come right afterwards, and.
Jay
in my-
wouldn't agree.
In my opinion, they could simply put a link to your page. I think you should have all
Yeah.
that information
there you
for
go.
28
That's
in
a
one
good idea.
place.
Yeah.
Yep.
They can have a sewer pit, we can work with Natasha and just say,
Yeah.
hey, just take this link, that this is where
Okay.
Dan's information is for the Route 28 project, and just put that there, and people can go to that, because they may want to know about the water project as well. They've obviously heard about both.
Right.
There's a sewer component, it's a really small component, so
Okay.
Mhm.
I think that's what I would recommend.
Anything else?
No.
Okay. Anything else? Is that it? All right, well, thank you for the presentation. We look forward to getting it on the 11th and the contract done and
Sounds
moving
good.
forward.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for
Thank
having
you.
us.
Okay, Weston and Sampson.
You want to take it?
You want to do intros?
I'll do intros. Yeah, sure, sure. Hi, my name's Mike Richard. I'm with Weston and Sampson. I am the discipline leader for the facilities group at Weston and Sampson. We do the vertical design in our company. With me today is Jen Katie. She is a senior architect in our group. She's also the PM, and also with us is Paul Rudolph. He's a junior architect in our group.
Okay.
Just a little background about what we do. Our group really specializes in municipal facilities, water, wastewater, highway, fleet, utilities, municipal light associations. That's really what we do. So we're under contract with the town to do a feasibility study for a new facility. It's a planning level exercise for both Public Works and for the Water and Sewer Department. You look like you're jumping to say something.
No, you're doing intros.
Okay, all right.
Just
So,
like me.
so, where we are in this process right now is we have met with Jason and his team so far. That's the initial step that we go through. We do what's called staff interviews. We get to know the operations, we get to hear about what works well at the current facility, what doesn't work well. We hear about what their needs are, and then what we do is we start programming that facility, and that's kind of where we are right now in this process. It really starts off at that very basic level. You'll see some of the information that we have for you today is just building blocks, right? It doesn't mean that the office that we're showing there is gonna look exactly like that when we're said and done, but we need to get a square footage for each of those spaces. And then what we do as we advance this process is we'll start aggregating that stuff together. Our next steps as we go forward here is to hear from you. We also want to hear again from Jason and his team. We want to sit with them, say, this is what we heard, this is what the program is, and we want to dial that in, zero in on what the real program is. and what that facility is gonna look like. From there, we'll start developing concepts, high-level concepts, and we'll start putting costs together on the process, so.
Okay.
Question, have you already also interviewed the DPW staff?
We have.
Okay.
We have. Right now they're about a step ahead. We paused on the water and sewer because Jason wanted to bring you up to speed. I think I think we were originally gonna meet with you first, and then it kind of got switched. And then
Yeah.
vacations, we had vacations, and so here we are right now. We're meeting with Public Works this afternoon to not finalize, I mean, it's never really final.
They're a meeting ahead, so we've gone through the interview, and then we've provided them with the space needs matrix and room data sheets, the same information we'll share with you today, based on their feedback, and we got their feedback on the first draft, updated, refined, and we're providing them with that updated copy. And in a perfect world, they say, this looks great, and then we move on to the conceptual design step. And so we're not that far behind.
Yeah.
We're pretty good about pulling it all
Yeah.
together.
Yeah, it's been a great process so far. The only thing I just want to make clear is we realize this is going to be a give and take exercise as we go forward. I always think of this different milestones through the process as it advances that gives you kind of a, wait a minute, we missed this, or hey, we can combine this, we can do this. And that program is going to grow and shrink all the way up until we get into final design. But the idea here is, this is a planning level exercise. We want it to be as close as we can get it now, because we want to give you a budget and a concept that's going to meet your needs in the future.
Okay.
One more question, so are you yet at the phase of being able to say whether it's going to be one facility or more than one facility?
What we heard, it was pretty clear, from what we heard at the staff interviews, is the operations are to remain separate in most factions, right? I think what we heard was the commissioner's room could be combined with a meeting room for Public Works. Public Works does the fleet maintenance, Public Works does fueling, Public Works will have a wash bay, but other than that, everything is separate. And what we want to do is we want to bring to you ideas that might show two separate buildings. It might show one building combined, but it's like where you walk in, it could be over here is water and sewer, over here is Public Works. It could be one entrance where you walk in and it's clearly Public Works on this side, water and sewer on this side. So we'll walk you through those options, and we'll try to identify, or we will identify for you, the advantages and disadvantages for each. And sometimes it comes out to layout, sometimes it comes out to cost, but we'll help you navigate
Probably
that.
gonna come out to both. Noreen?
Mike, is this settled on a location of Queen Anne Road, or are locations still up in the air?
We've been told we're looking at Queen Anne Road. Yeah.
Because, I mean, it's probably not our first choice, being the as a resident.
Yeah.
Queen Anne Road is so overloaded right now, it would seem
Yeah.
like the last possible choice of every other road in town. But
Right, yeah.
It's about to get ripped up. In addition to that, there's also new housing developments going in,
Right.
and the construction of those new housing developments is also going to cause significant
And then-
backups. So, it's getting ripped up for the sewer project, which will be a multiple-year project, and then there's two major housing projects going in, which will, extend the time frame of construction backlogs to,
Right.
5 years, 10 years out. So just be aware of that.
No, thank you for that.
Because all the
Yeah.
trucks coming and going to do
Yeah.
regular daily business, it might not be the best choice.
Understood.
In the short term. I don't know about the long term, but
Yeah.
definitely the short term is going to be pretty touch and
You're
go there.
gonna also have traffic impacts by adding us to that
Right,
site.
Yeah.
that's what I mean.
Yeah.
And the trips, and there's gonna be
Right.
pushback on that.
And one of the projects is for 250 units. over many years, so that's gonna be a lot of trucks.
Yes, it is. That intersection is gonna get, I have a real problem with that part.
I do too.
Okay.
Are you looking at any of our lands?
There we go, thank you.
No, if there's land that you want us to look into,
There
We've
is.
mentioned it through Jay and other people.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That would be particularly the land at what we call the Spider Tank on Route 39. I don't know an actual address for it.
What is it, 60 acres there?
Yeah, I think that's
Yeah,
just about
60 acres are there. What about this site back here? That's just on us, right? That's what
This
we're
back
talking
here?
about.
I don't
Yeah.
wanna bring the DPW here.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm
Oh, it's
saying-
just us?
Yeah,
Yeah, that
Oh,
would be,
I
a-
see.
that'd be a whole
different
separate
feasibility
design.
study. Yeah, I think we need to have something that's on our land
Yeah.
looked at.
yeah.
I mean, we've been touring, our needs too, we don't want to, I'm more focused on our needs than DPW's, honestly.
Of course, yeah,
And
understood.
we have an idea on our needs for a garage, our needs for office space, and things like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I have some comments. I don't know when you want to do how you guys want to do your presentation here.
Can I throw in one more, since
Mhm.
we threw in a few? The wastewater side of our operation, we only have 400 customers. It's unlikely that we're gonna have more than 1,300 customers beyond the next, say, actually connected, 6, 7 years. And so let's say it's gonna be 10 or more plus till we actually looked at another phase. It seems more likely to me that, and right now we have our wastewater services are outsourced to, used to be Weston and Sampson, now it's Viola, done through Chatham. So we have to make a decision in about 10 or 15 years about whether we bring those services in-house or whether we continue to outsource them, depending on price. Even if we were to bring those services in-house, it seems more likely to me that at the development of the next phase, 15 years from now, we might add a satellite operation to a pump station, say in phase 4, that could accommodate the very small number of wastewater trucks that we'd only have about 2,000 customers by then, and it certainly wouldn't need any office, or that's all centralized, wherever water is, does all the billing and meter reading and all that stuff anyway. So water's I'm not sure how much you need to accommodate for wastewater for the next 20 years,
Yeah.
is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, that's a valid question, and those are the questions that, we've discussed during
Right.
the staff interviews, and Jason and his team gave us some information. I think we have some follow-up stuff that we need to ask.
And I think now is a good time, Jason, do you want to hand these
Yeah.
out?
Yeah,
Because
there's some stuff, and
we
I'll be
do have,
quiet.
some of that information is in these notes.
Okay.
We have on the cover page a staffing summary, which includes anticipated future growth. You can see that wastewater, we're anticipating having a staff of potentially 4 over time.
Oh.
And then I only have 3 of these ones, but the document that Jason just passed around is, oh wait, right? No, these are my notes, okay. The ones that Jason passed around are the summary notes from the interview questions that we asked the water and wastewater group in our visit 2 weeks ago.
Can you walk us a little through this one?
And I have,
All right, let's get everything
So-
in
Yeah,
about
yeah.
yours as well.
There's a lot of information right now. Information overload.
Oh,
That is yours.
That's mine.
Yes.
did I do?
do I need to share some of this? Or what are we doing here?
Thank you.
So these are just some of the documents that we've produced.
Oh, I see.
We have the first document Jason sent out. These are the meeting notes, the comments that we received from the staff at our.
You got this here, right?
Yeah, at our interview, we ask a lot of questions about current operations, what's working, what's not working, what would they like to see in a potentially new facility, what's most important to the staff for workflow, for, being able to do their jobs efficiently. We got a lot of feedback. We identify the spaces that are required everything from how many offices, how many open admin, how many bathrooms, how many lockers do you need, how many parking spaces do you need? And from that, we have all of those summarized in this first document, which is our interview notes. And then that information we take and we create the following documents that we've provided to you. We have the user group summary, which includes staff, existing staff, seasonal staff, and future growth for both admin and workforce. And then we also have the space needs summary. And so this is our first draft of this, where we're taking all the information that we heard from the staff. We're saying, okay, we understand that you want X number of offices. We understand that you want X number of lockers and this much space for a break room and this much storage space, this much workshop space. So each of them are.
Did you guys get this?
Yes.
If you look at the A1 down here on the bottom,
It
Yeah.
correlates
That-
with room data number in this
Right.
space needs
Got it,
matrix.
thank you.
So those are what we call room data sheets, and those are what Michael referred to as our blocks, our initial blocks. It gives you an idea of what a space could look like. So it'll give you an idea of size and an idea of layout. It may not be the exact layout that ends up finding its way into your project, but it's a good visual to start with. And it's a good way for us to get feedback on whether or not the size is adequate, whether or not everything that you need is included. And everything from lockers to offices to break rooms are included in those room data sheets. So our next,
What's your construction materials? Is it concrete block?
We haven't got there yet, but most of our facilities are usually pre-engineered metal building.
we do have concrete block or concrete knee walls for our facilities, our vehicle storage, vehicle maintenance shop areas where we're gonna see higher impact, but our offices are usually pre-engineered metal building.
And you don't have a garage in these diagrams?
We do, it's the last
You do?
page.
Last page.
We have the fleet storage garage, and we also have shops.
Yeah, cool.
We have,
I see equipment.
we have a equipment storage, and I'll also note that we
Wash
have a
bay.
carryover in here, in the space needs summary. The existing fuel island, that's at the DPW, so, it's included, but it's not, it's one of the shared, anticipated shared items. We have 3 workshops based on our conversation with the staff. We have a water shop, a wastewater shop, and an electrical shop. And those are also shown.
So vehicle equipment storage is 16,000 square feet?
I believe
Yeah.
that's, yeah.
Sealed concrete.
I'm just flipping through them. Why would we need both a commissioner's room and a muster training room?
So the muster training room would be where we would have your morning meetings for the staff before they go out into the field.
Right.
And that would serve as the break room. It would serve as any training room. It could also serve if there's a need for emergency overnight services. I believe we have a bunk room shown, but if we were to move those 2 cots in a closet, then that could become the overnight emergency room. So that's sort of a multifunctional room. The commissioner's room, we envision, based on our conversations, that could be more of a centrally located conference room that would be multi-purpose for board meetings or any other public-facing meetings. It would have restrooms adjacent to it. It could be something for televised a little bit more of a nicer conference room space
Right.
rather than a kitchen space.
I guess I'm just trying to make the point that we're not that fancy,
Mhm.
you know, don't spend a lot of money on the commissioners. Really, we'll make do with just about anything.
Well, let's not go that far.
Well.
Let's keep
Well,
keep
that's
these
the
chairs.
Some of us.
You know, I'm not moving out onto the street.
Tent pitched in the backyard, right? No, we can definitely take.
So you do have a kitchen in here. The muster training room does have a kitchen.
Yes.
Right, so that's the
Yep.
break room.
And then the meeting room is
Yeah.
the more public-facing
And
conference.
laundry,
It's a
good.
conference room.
Okay.
I was wondering if there was an easy way, Jason, to figure out how many trips our trucks take on an average day. You know how when they do the fancy traffic studies, they do this. But only because I'd love to get a better grip on how much impact there would be on Queen Anne Road, which is a huge question. And is there any way for us to count these guys going in and out for a few days without hiring, you know, Pie and Bond or somebody to charge us $5 million to stand at the end of the road and count them?
DPW has a vehicle counter.
You think I think it might be worth it. You think it's worth it to get some rather than speculation?
Yeah.
I think you get a rough estimate, but don't forget, as a commission, if we start having public meetings and there's opposition and you fill a meeting room,
No, I'm talking about,
those are traffic trips.
right, but I'm talking about the
Oh, I know.
regular daily trucks.
But I don't think you can just limit it to that.
Well, whatever, we can get two numbers then.
I mean, you know, it's the,
Right now, we have
that's
zero
the
numbers.
question of when you build a shopping center,
Right,
do you build it for the normal,
For the day after Thanksgiving?
yeah, or the day after Thanksgiving? Well, they build it for the day after Thanksgiving.
Right.
But, you know, given, you know, we may have a controversial meeting once every
Right.
10 years.
Well, now with sewer coming up, I don't know about that.
but at any rate,
Well, but
yeah,
those will happen down at the select board.
yeah. But is there a way to get our regular trucks measured somehow? You know what I'm trying to
Yeah, I
say?
know what you're saying on that.
Well, I don't-
Just
it's-
I'd like to be able to say that
Average.
there's 23 on an average day, apart from commissioners' issues,
But
trucks in and out.
Yeah, so a traffic count study is, I would say, probably on the order of magnitude of $5,000 or less.
Yeah.
I didn't want people thinking it's extravagant, but just to get the traffic counts. But other communities who've worked on the Cape have asked the Cape Cod Commission to do it for them.
You know, honest to God, I could put a chair at the top of the driveway
Yeah.
for a week and stay there from 8 to 5, and I'll charge you a very small amount. As long as you bring me, I mean,
Well, it's a proposal.
seriously, I mean, why don't we
Yeah.
just do it? Why do we need, I'm so tired of studies.
like I said, you know, the DPW.
Right, might
does
have a counter.
And, you know, it isn't so much just the department's
Right,
truck traffic. You want to measure all traffic.
Yeah,
Because
UPS,
presumably, we're
yeah.
going to be moving
Employees,
the entire, and also the occasional fellow that comes in is asking for a rebate.
my reason for looking into this, and I do think it's important, is we're dealing with so many areas of speculation. You know, people say, well, there's going to be a big impact on Queen Anne. I'd like to get a better handle on what that impact is. Could you talk to DPW and
Yes.
see if they could, just to get, so we find out if it's 30 trips a day in and out, or if it's 50, or maybe it's only 12, you know, I just hate wondering. So, thank you. Thanks, Jason.
So the next step here today, do you want us to comment on this, or what are you hoping to get out of us?
I think sharing with you where we are in the process is an important step in seeing the information that we've gathered from the Water and Wastewater Department. getting your feedback as well as, Jason, anyone on your team who has feedback as well. Making sure that our understanding matches, that we've heard everything correctly and that we don't have any glaring omissions or adjustments that need to be made. Certainly, if there's anything that we misunderstood, we want to be able to update our information, our program so far, and make sure we get as close to an accurate program as we can before we move on to the next step of concept.
Will you be
planning.
looking at, this will be energy efficient, obviously, are you going to be looking at putting solar on top or anything like that?
Absolutely, yep.
Okay.
Energy efficiency is part of what we do for every project, but that was also something that was identified specifically by the group during the interviews, that efficiency was very, efficiency and sustainability were very important.
Yeah.
So, okay, my comments would be simply, you give us a bunch of building blocks here. I would like to see them put together in some sense that if we're doing a duplex building with separate DPW, we don't, in our in office, that would give us a better idea of how it's going to look, how we could see how it might we could use it to interact, where the parking is,
Yep.
how that works, the flow.
If I may, I think a good way for everyone to move forward is if, we would probably like to come back to talk to you and your crew in, 2 weeks?
Yeah.
Does that sound reasonable? Okay. And that will give you all a chance to maybe spend some time with Jason. And you could share your thoughts with him. He could say, yeah, that makes sense, or, well, I hear what you're saying, but this is what we had envisioned. And that way, when we meet with Jason in 2 weeks, that we can have consolidated comments, and we can try to dial that in.
So when do you think you will have, like, I want to say site plan, but a
Yep.
plan
Plan that
of
shows
a
the
building
pieces
plan that
put
actually
together.
shows that, because it's
Yep.
going to come together.
Yes.
I think when everybody looks at it.
Yeah, that's one of those milestones we talk about, right? Like, I understand it's hard to look at this and say, what does this mean, right? And as we move forward, the next step is when you see it on the site plan, and you can see, hey, okay, this is where the public comes in, hey, this is where the staff comes in. Then you start getting that vision. That's going to be one of those, oh, have we thought about this? The one that's going to come after that is the next big milestone, is not part of this study, but it's when we lay out the floor plan. Because then you see all the spaces and how the adjacencies work, and you get that real vision, and it really is the most comprehensive view of this.
So that won't come with this study?
No.
Okay.
What comes with this study is a step in between this and the whole floor plan laid out. And what we do is we take each of these spaces, and it has a total area.
Okay.
We take that total area and we lay that on a site plan, and then we show
Okay.
where the public would enter. We show where trucks would enter. We show the site circulation. We show how the admin office area relates to the garage storage area, relates to the shops area. So you'll see these bigger blocks on a site plan with locations for entrances and site circulation and parking. But you won't necessarily see every single room laid out within this admin block. You'll see how much space this admin block takes and where it is in relation to shops and where it is in relation to parking, if that makes sense.
I'd like to see more of an open space work area, but I'm not going to get into design with you, because it seems very blocky and boxed off, and people don't communicate or see each other. If you have to keep doors closed all the time, many of the offices, I feel, are too boxy, but that's my own opinion. Noreen?
These are my own opinions, because we haven't discussed them.
We get to give opinions.
I
Huh?
actually have some too, but I'll wait for
That's
mine.
all right.
Yeah.
So, under workshops, on this sheet, my personal opinion, per my previous comments, is that you should reimagine the wastewater workshop. You know, I can't see a need for a space with an overhead door and a hoist and and all of that business for at least 20 years. So maybe if there's room for expansion, if we went that way, but I truly think that more likely wastewater would wind up as a satellite. That's my own personal opinion, but that's what I think will happen. I don't think it will be part of the facility, wherever it is. You mentioned a bunk room, use a cot room instead. I would highly agree with that. I was in a utility with 70 people, and we didn't have a bunk room, and we managed real well for 100 years. People bunked in meeting rooms, auditoriums, hallways, and most of the time they're on the road during a storm or crisis anyway. And so I have to ask, because we're a small town, so there's been some numbers running through the rumor mill, some dollar numbers, so what's up with the dollars? We've been told it's 60 million.
Yeah, yeah. So that's a high-level planning cost, really, because what we try to do is, as we go forward, right? I mean, we've heard what your needs are, and we heard your vision, right? But there's a cost implication to that, right? And so when we meet with you, what we don't want people to do is start thinking, oh, they're gonna have their bunk room, oh, they're gonna have a weight room, you know. We want them to know there's a cost associated with that. And that gives them sort of like, okay, do we really need this? Does it really need, does Jason really need, you know, a couch and a table in his room, right? Like,
I did not ask for a couch.
he did not. Sorry,
He wants to
Have a table.
He wants to bunk.
yeah, he wants a bunk. So
At
we
the
want
same time, at the same time, I don't think part of what we're tasked with is looking 20 years, 25 years
Yep.
ahead. So if, let's say we decide, yes, we're gonna go, it might be worthwhile to have that space
Yeah.
available. It
Yeah.
doesn't necessarily have to be labeled that, but,
Yep.
you know, we can't just nickel and dime stuff too that may cost us later.
Yeah, and that's the process we want to walk through with you as we advance this, right? And you know, I would suggest plan for it now,
Yes. I
right,
would agree.
is what I would suggest, right? And if you say, I don't need, if we find out that this future space that we're planning is half of the space of the building, we wouldn't suggest build it now and leave it vacant for 10 to 15 years, because a lot can change
Yes.
in 10 to 15 years, right? But if we plan for it and say, okay, if you build an addition out this way and this is what it looks like, then you have that planned out for the future. You build it when the need comes, because a lot can change. I just would like to go back to that cost thing. There's a lot of contingencies built into that will get.
Yeah, tell me what's in it.
Because we always work towards, you know, this is a planning exercise for you, right? And right now, what we want to give you is, hey, if it's $60 million, we want you to know it's about $60 million. We don't want you thinking it's 10.
What's the it? Is that DPW only? Is that the it of 60
I think that
million?
was DPW only, which has a much bigger program than you.
So we had the DPW, we had our contingencies, it included site improvements, it included escalation, so we're giving a conservative, realistic number. We, like Mike said,
Right.
we don't want you guys going into it thinking it's 10 million and then falling out of your chair when you see the 60 million.
Yeah, I just want, as I say, it's a rumor, so I just
Yeah.
want, so, but that is DPW only?
Yeah, and
Okay.
it's assuming that the soils, right now, and this was a very conservative assumption, the soils are not suitable to build on. You have to do piles or rammed aggregate piers or something. Big assumption.
Or build
there.
elsewhere.
Or build elsewhere, right? I mean, yeah, very valid point, right? So there's a lot.
We could have
there's-
sold that to the Federal Reserve building and saved ourselves about
So there's a lot built into
trillion.
that.
It also included, new salt shed and new fuel rather than keeping their existing
yeah,
salt
and they wanna
and
keep
fuel.
them.
So again, we put in everything that we could think of that it could impact the cost when we gave that number to them.
And then you just
So we just-
subtracting.
Exactly, so there's gonna be
It's always easier to go lower.
Do you have any other buildings that you built similar to square footage on this that that are close that we could
Cost-wise.
see?
We can, we certainly can. I actually don't even know what the total aggregate square footage is now, but there's a lot of things to think about too, right? Like, if you're looking at a $20 million project versus an $80 million project, there's a order of magnitude savings there, right? I mean, there's something real with that. So there's a lot of variables out there right now with that.
We
Can I
just
make
toured.
comments
Oh,
as
yeah, go
well?
ahead.
Sure, so quickly, I just want to say that I think there's a lot of opportunity for combining DPW and water, wastewater, especially with public access things like the public restrooms and the meeting rooms. I mean, I think there's a lot of sharing that can happen with that, but I do also want to say that I really love the idea of having the admin area be behind glass that's secure and have a buzz in, buzz out. I think that is sorely lacking here. I think the security aspect going forward is going to be really important for the staff. So I do like that part of it. But I have an ongoing list of, as I'm reading through this, there's just a whole list of things that could be combined with DPW if that's the direction we're going with, a combined building, because there's so many opportunities for shared spaces.
It seems to me like if we look at this, we're only looking at half of the apple. Maybe we should have the same set of documents that you provided for the DPW, which would also fill out that picture of what's
what they
more.
have on,
Yeah,
and that may help
Right.
inform of, oh, this could be something
Correct.
that we share. I think based on our conversation 2 weeks ago, the idea, assuming that it's one shared building, the idea of having a public entrance and you go to the left for DPW and the right for water, so you've got your two separate office spaces for wayfinding, but that central hub could be that public meeting area and the public restrooms and the public lobby with two separate waiting areas, two separate windows to handle bills or whatever, is something that seemed to resonate both with water, wastewater, as well as DPW. And then of course.
doesn't resonate with me, but
No.
yeah, that's all right.
We toured Brewster's water department this last week. And if you take their building, which was suitable for us, except maybe we needed a larger garage, they built that for what, 3 million, wasn't it?
2009.
2009. Their engineer says it's now worth 6 to 5. If we wanted a bigger garage, we're talking maybe 15 million for us. So when you put that at 60, and we really only need 15, and we could get our own land, sometimes mixing DPWs and water departments don't always work. And so I just want to take a look at that and see. I found their building, the office portion of it, they have a security protocol in place and stuff, but they're not using the conference rooms. I found it very boxy with a lot of unnecessarily hallways. And as things have changed, AI and all this with billing and how offices are handled, administration could go down in space, be more efficient, and then keep your garage big.
Yeah.
So.
And their office spaces were enormous.
Enormous, yes.
Right.
They were, so you're factoring in heating costs,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
all of that. So seeing a site plan with square footage from DPW and site plan with us would be really helpful. That's what I'd want.
But we won't get did I hear correctly, we will not get a site plan?
Not with this study.
Okay,
You'll
that's
get
fine.
you'll get a site plan.
You get a site plan.
You won't have the full layout of every single room,
Oh.
but you'll have the building blocks. So you'll have an admin block, but you won't necessarily see every single office laid out on
I
a
see.
plan.
Oh, that's fine.
That's good.
Yeah, no, that'd be, so we'll see that later on.
Yes.
Yeah.
that's-
Okay, yeah.
Once we nail down the program,
I see.
then
And
that is the next step, is to lay
yeah,
out the site
yeah.
and show, this is how much space it takes.
Yeah.
This is what the adjacencies look like, and then again, it's iterative. We get feedback, find out what you like, what you don't like,
Right.
and and further refine it.
So would it help us to see the DPW set of documents?
Yeah,
Yes.
we
Yeah,
can, we
you're
can do that
considering
too.
a home building, yeah.
Yeah.
I want to tour DPW as it is.
I'm gonna try and set it up for Thursday if that
Okay.
works out.
So you're
for
gonna get these to us?
And I
Send
want
me
to
the
tour
DPW?
68.
If you email those to me,
Yes.
I'll email those to everyone. How's that?
Excellent.
Does that work for everyone?
Yes. Okay, so the next step for us is.
Interesting.
Do we put this again on another agenda, or how are we proceeding here?
Yeah, you show, like, this is a smaller, that's a DPW, is that what that
This
is?
is Holliston DPW.
Yeah, that's
This
what it will
is-
look like in there.
How it sits on, all the spaces broken out, and then how it's going to sit on the site.
That was
Circulation.
a very restrictive site for that program.
Yeah.
That was,
Can we get a copy sent to us of this?
yeah, yeah.
Take out your phone.
Do we have a color copy?
Don't we?
So this is just
Boomers
DPW's
don't think about
proposed.
it.
No,
This is for,
Oh,
this is a different town?
Yeah, just to give you an idea of what a concept,
Okay.
what a concept.
Oh,
would
so-
look
I
like.
see, that's good.
He just happened to have that with him. so.
Okay.
I had one with me too.
Oh, did you?
No, I pulled it out of my bag.
Do you want to, you guys want to see this? It's a different town.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's done, Bob, you
Well-
take out your phone.
Maybe we can put a dome on it or something.
So, if I could ask, so what are the next, like, few weeks of steps? Do you go
Right.
back to when you wind up at the select board and stuff like that?
Once we get through the program exercise, the concepts, then we'll be as we're winding down the study, we will be meeting with the select board, which, do you remember the time frame on that? I think we talked about 3 months, but we might be a little bit.
Okay.
I'm
Now,
asking.
I noticed you said you met with, the staff and the other people. I mean, it was fine, but does this constitute your interview with us?
This is sort of the initial,
Okay.
meet you guys,
Yeah.
put the information that we have so far in front. But we welcome and invite all of your feedback, so if there's additional information, and I know we gave you a lot of
Right,
information
that's what I
today.
mean, it's
So
been-
if you, after this, have additional comments, questions,
Would it be possible for you to give us an update before you go to the select board so that we? if we
Of
want-
course.
yes.
Okay.
Of course,
That would be
yeah.
what I'd want to do, because then
Yeah.
I'd want to be at that meeting.
You may have some comments after we get the DPWs
Yeah.
on
Yes.
what they want.
Absolutely.
Okay, so,
I guess, a couple of comments I have is one, I think it'd be good, very good to get understand what our traffic in and out is. I hopefully share the opinion that it's going to have an enormous impact
Yeah.
on Queen Anne Road, where the existing DPW is. It'll be, the traffic we have is so spread out during the day. It's not like having a school where everybody shows up.
Right.
1,000 cars show up in a half hour, so it has that. And then the whole issue of right now, we have the water system, which we maintain fully and do a lot of construction and repair on it. With the taking on the sewer, I'm not sure if we have any real feel for what our future commitment in staffing that will be, or whether or not we will outsource it. Presumably, if you outsource it, they'll find their own location to locate their operation, because they're probably going to be an organization that is servicing Chatham or Dennis or, something, so, but it's hard to tell what we'll need in the way to cover wastewater. But clearly, as we won't know that for a number of years. And we also, actually, for probably a year, we won't understand what the next phasings are gonna be because they're reviewing that. Whether or not, how much space we need will be hard to decide, but we potentially want to make sure there is a space to expand for additional vehicles, storage space.
You know, it just occurred to me that we're also gonna be picking and building a recharge area, hopefully, in the west sometime in the next year or two. You know, there might be an area,
Hopefully in the next couple of months.
yeah, exactly, but hopefully an area might present itself near one of those areas too, you just never know.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll be waiting for you guys to get us back some more information, and we'll coordinate our response. So I'm pretty
So-
sure we'll have comments.
Are they coming back on the 11th, or is our
Do you-
discussion on the 11th?
Do you would you be giving us anything between now and the 11th?
We
that
can
would
get
be-
you information on the DPW this week so that you can get,
That
so
would
that
be
you can
great.
have time to review and make comments and see what we have, what we're
Okay.
doing in parallel on the DPW side.
So we can keep it on the agenda.
I think this board needs to have a discussion on it, maybe on the 11th or something, you know,
Yes.
we've really just been responding
Right.
to other people,
Yeah.
we haven't, done our own thing.
So if you can get us as much as you can, we'll put it on our agenda for the 11th for
For
a
you to
discussion.
discuss internally,
Yeah.
and then you can follow up and provide us with any comments
Yeah,
on
sure.
it if you need us to come down for further discussion.
You can
Okay.
watch our meeting on TV.
And she'll be out there clicking the cars going.
That's right. Very nice sparkle lounges at the top of the hill up there.
In the shade.
Yes, please, thank you.
Okay, so we're gonna move on to our next agenda
Thanks,
item.
everyone.
Thank you for
Thank
coming.
you.
Thank you very
Very
Lot of information.
informative.
Appreciate all your work, very clearly done.
Thank you.
So D, we have superintendent's evaluation again. It seems like we just did this.
That was a year ago. my
It was a
dear.
year ago?
It's flying by.
Jeez.
So can I jump in Sandy's absence?
Yeah.
A year ago, we revised the evaluation form. It was really old-fashioned before that. And just last week, I did beta test it again to make sure that when you enter it online, the numbers actually add up. Sandy had me do that. So I'll tell you what, for our newer members, what we traditionally do. By the way, Jason's anniversary date is the 26th. We try to get it in by that, if
August or-
not, of August.
Okay.
I'm sorry. If not, he goes without his pay raise. He does get it retro, but it does have an impact on him. I see Sandy included this page back from like 2019. To tell you the truth, it's kind of outdated. But what we usually do is these forms that she has in the packet are given to the staff, to all 16. They are filled out anonymously and given to us. So each of us receives copies from each employee anonymously of all of these. And then what we've done is we each fill out the 5-page evaluation form, and then we turn it in to Sandy. And by the miracle of Sandy Seeger, she homogenizes them all together and produces one for the board to sign, which we all look at and decide if it's accurate and represents our, our views. So it's like a 2-meeting or 3-meeting process to do. The thing that has to be done initially, like this meeting, is that the first page of the actual evaluation form, we start off, you'll see on it last year's goal. When you see the current years, you'll see last year's goals, and we comment on those. But this is the point when we determine next year's goals for him. And those are not graded like this August, they're put on to be, watched and monitored during the year. So, we kind of have to come up with, 5 of the top, things we consider for, the FY '27 goals. That way Sandy can put them on the form and then send the final form out to each of us. Usually, what we do is we consider what's on the capital plan. So I took a quick look at it, and
So we do this now collaboratively with Jason?
it would, oh yeah, Jason's
cool.
involved.
Makes sense.
It's all public, it's all,
Yeah,
yeah,
good.
and he fills out a form too eventually and gives it to us, so,
Okay.
yeah, it's all public. So his input is very important, but I mean, I would say of the 5, and not necessarily in any order of importance, but obviously Route 28.
28.
I don't seem to have it. Let me check
Page
here.
27.
Oh, okay, hold on.
Now,
Yes, okay, never mind.
I'm wondering if we should separate Route 28 into east and west, but we can decide that as we see how many. What's on from last year was the Pleasant Lake tank painting. That will drop off because that was finished. I kind of think Phase 2 sewer connection is getting to be history. It's not really a top priority.
Right, right.
The hydraulic model will
That
be coming
is an
into play.
extension, Yep. They're putting the final calibrations on it now.
I'm just throwing these things out, not dictating, just to get some stuff from the capital plan on the thing. The next year's capital plan, by next year, I mean this one starting right now, is only for a couple of vehicles, so not significant. The year after that is when we have 2 engineering projects. One is the completion of the connection of our new well to the water treatment plant, so that's significant.
Yeah.
And then the other one is the actual construction of a water main placement on Mill and Harbor Road. I'm just writing these down so we figure out priorities.
So we're trying to do, those are gonna come on to
Next year's.
next year's.
Which we won't be grading them this year, we may
Oh, I
write
see.
comments, but this is so Sandy can complete the form and fill it in. I'd also say that obviously the building
Yeah, I was
feasibility.
gonna say the building should be in there because it's pretty
Yeah.
critical. We just finished talking about it.
Yeah, can anybody, before we kind of number these, can anybody think of anything else? I mean, we can always edit it, 2 weeks
Right.
from now, but anything else humongous going on?
Anything publicly we're doing? Coming up meetings or anything like that?
Well, he's got, I mean, the eval goes on and on about all of his leadership
Right.
skills and everything else, so this is this
I'd have
part
to
is
take a
really-
look at my wall in there and see what,
Yeah.
I have the RRA, risk
So you're
resilience.
just looking
I have
for
the
5?
ERP,
This is
and
more
all.
project-driven, where we can evaluate it based on the projects.
How many do you have?
Well, if we separate
That's
East
five,
Burmester
maybe.
and 28, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Okay, so
Well,
we
you
got
don't have to
5.
separate 28 then.
Yeah,
let's
you're
keep
right.
that.
So
Yeah.
I'll
let's-
be retired by all
So
these.
you got 5.
Yeah,
Let's put those.
all right, so I'll send those to Sandy, and I don't think the order really, well, Route 28,
It doesn't seem like the order
no,
makes a
No.
difference
No.
in terms of the actual evaluation.
right. And I'll put the 2 that are from 2 years from now, the engineering at the end, how's that? All right, so I just wanted to, I didn't want us to lose 2 weeks
No.
in this process. So I think she just included all the other stuff for people's background. So I'll communicate with Sandy and tell her we talked. And those will go on page 2, and she can probably resend the stuff. And you guys will start with the ones for staff,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
Can I
Okay.
just ask a question based on last year's valuation?
Yeah,
It's just a piece that I didn't understand. There was a lot of work required to develop a grinder pump policy and procedure. Like, what does that mean? It looks like you spent a lot of time on this.
Oh, it was
and
It was brutal.
A lot
Oh.
of time.
Yeah.
What is it about grinder pumps that make the policies and procedures so incredibly difficult
Who
to,
gets them, who pays for them?
Well, it was also the legality of the fact that we give it to them, but then they are liable for it from that point on. So it was a lot of legal work,
Yeah.
that they own it, they maintain it, you know, something goes wrong with it,
The
they don't
homeowner,
come
you
to
mean.
us, and so it was
Yes.
really more the legal thing.
Okay.
Where they pick it up at?
And also, we had to have it approved, and we had to change our regs. We had to have it approved by Chatham, since
Oh,
we were
wow.
changing our sewer regs.
Right.
You'll love this, I gotta tell you this one, I've always wanted to. And so the night that that was up for Chatham on their select board for approval, Jason was on vacation, Tony Schiavi was busy with something else, so they sent me to the Chatham Select Board, and I got approval for the grinder pumps. But at the same time, I was the one who defended 3A and getting the extra flow allowance. So, only because of our mild adversary.
Right,
Jamie,
right.
I thought it was,
Look at that.
I thought it was cute that, yes, and I reminded them of Pleasant Lake and because they weren't all for that, but I got it through. So there you go, one for the team.
No, thank you, I appreciate that, but I think it's also really important to let people know,
Yeah.
honestly, because, I mean, I've already started to hear a little bit about grinder pumps, because the road has been being dug up, as you know, and so
Right.
there's already a lot of
They're
discussion
going
about that.
fast.
It's fabulous, and I just don't think the people who are actually getting these grinder pumps understand.
I know.
You know, just how much effort goes into making all this work,
Yeah.
you know?
It is a great deal.
Yeah.
It's been a real process.
You know, on our building feasibility, I meant to ask them, are we gonna leave storage at the water tank for grinder pumps if we move, or would we build it into a new facility?
Where it could go here.
Something to think about.
So we did discuss that.
Yeah, okay.
We have some, or the Connex boxes out back. We said just bring those with us, because why build
All right,
something
just
when
asking.
after it's
Yeah.
already complete, we can just take that Connex box and go, see you later, we don't have this big structure. So
Why,
it's
why would it be see you later? There's always gonna be another phase.
it would be for 20 years, but we wouldn't be putting an addition onto a big addition onto a
All
building
right,
for
all right.
storage.
Yeah, I get you.
And that's
Okay.
that's what they were saying, why build something and then all of a
So
sudden.
with the grinder pumps,
Mm-hmm.
these are storing the new ones.
Yes.
What about repairing ones?
We don't
We
repair.
don't,
We don't do-
we don't do that, yeah.
They'll get information from the manufacturer about who they can contact
Mhm.
for repair or something, that's part of the big, I heard there were gonna be a huge amount for, am I wrong for 3A?
I can get you that, but I think they'll want to say 90.
Okay, so
Wow.
we're past superintendent's evaluation now, right?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, let's move on.
Thank you, that way that can
Okay.
move on.
Water fountain is in.
Yes, looks great.
It's getting good response.
great.
In fact, Josh Winston, my business partner, posted it on Instagram. We got over 400 likes.
Wow.
Because it is in Harwich Center. I have a video of dogs using the bowl, a lot of people running in that area. Because Harwich Center is a little village and people tend to live there.
Yeah,
So they are using it.
Luna likes it.
Yes, I know. We get a lot of compliments from dogs. The dog people really like it.
Great.
Even the garden club likes it. So, anything else on that? Anybody have any questions? Or public outreach, Route 28 letters to abutters? Did
Looks
you
great.
review that?
I did, that's great.
So this will go out to each abutter?
This is our first crack at it. We wanted to
Yeah.
have everybody take a look at it. And
All right,
we're
okay.
gonna try and email it also.
Okay, but is it actually gonna be mailed to the abutters?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I have a few questions.
Sure.
If I could. So this may be to pick up, I see Dan's gone for another meeting, but I did go back and review things we had talked about when Dan did his presentation to us in June. And I didn't notice then, but he has written down borrowing to be in the spring of 2027. And I know that we had discussed borrowing to be in the fall of 2026. So sometime in the next couple of weeks, if we can clarify that.
Yes.
And if it is not, if we're gonna, we have 3.5 million right now. So that's gotta get us through the beginning of phase Route 28 East, and whatever happens with the West. And that's gonna be paying the contractors plus GHD plus Dan. So money's gonna be going out. So that's why we had planned on a fall borrowing. But if we think we can make it to the spring, then we absolutely have to make sure they're ready to borrow then. Like he has written here borrowing in April, they usually borrow in June, so
Yeah.
we gotta make sure we have enough money, for one thing. Also for the August 20th meeting, I was wondering how the board felt about an ad in the paper. I looked up the Chronicle,
Chronicle, yeah.
and it was, you could do a 5x7 ad for $400. And that seemed pretty reasonable to me.
If you guys think it's necessary, I think we're doing a lot of outreach on that.
Yeah, just throwing it out there.
Maybe the Chronicle can cover it as an
I would-
article instead of
a press
putting out
release.
an ad,
I
right?
think
I
a
mean,
press release would be better.
yeah, I agree. A press release is a better idea. Like, why pay for an ad if we can get it
Right.
as a news
Yeah.
article? a news
So
item?
who's gonna do the press release?
I'll do the press release, or I can work with Dan on it, whatever you want.
I love that.
We can all work.
Yeah.
We can all work
You and I
with it.
can work on
Yeah.
it, which,
We'll get Dan and, yeah.
yeah.
'Cause
And that way we
it's
can cover
news.
Cape Cod
It's not,
Times.
it's not like we're trying to sell them something. It's
Yeah,
just
No.
news. Like Route 28's a serious thing, so, yeah.
All right, so that would have to be to appear in like the 13th, August 13th paper.
So we should get it to them by around August 1st, and have plans and everything else to give them. We
Right.
can work on that. Anything else on this?
When we meet on the 11th, I
Mhm.
mean, is there anything further we need to discuss for the August 20th meeting? I don't think so.
Well, let's keep it on the agenda, just to refresh ourselves.
Okay.
And see where we are with the press release and anything else that's coming up. Okay, superintendent's report.
Okay, the press release, it'll be too late to discuss that then, but just,
It'll be out,
right, yeah, okay,
and we'll know whether he covered it or not.
yeah.
Okay, Route 28, east and west, I think we covered that with Jeff. I always say this, and I like Noreen's reaction. Station 10, new well number 12.
The reason it is if you look at some of our, like CCR reports and other things, they call some of them different things in different reports, and it drives me crazy,
Okay.
that's why
It's,
he always
it's,
says
it's
that.
it's funny, because it's station, it's
We have 15
Station
wells,
10,
but
new
it's all
well.
fit
But
valve, and
but
it's like,
I actually got the DEP report, and it's Station 12,
Station-
new well number 12, Station 10, new well number 12, so it's,
Who's the authority on naming these?
well,
Not me.
it is number 12, but it's at our Station 10 treatment
mean,
facility.
Like,
So it's,
do we have the power, like Gulf of America?
no,
Can we come in and say, we're changing this
no,
to,
it goes through DEP.
okay.
So I'm working on the contract, when I get that from GZA, I will look that over and submit it to the board for the construction of the well. So, Apex is putting the final steps on the hydraulic model. We've been going back and forth, they're fine tuning that. The cybersecurity grant, there's no news on that yet. Water restriction signs are out and about, have we seen
They
them?
look good.
Yes, everywhere.
So what are the water
Fantastic.
restrictions?
What's that?
What are the water restrictions?
2 days a week,
Okay.
odd, even, according to your house, and they are from before 9 AM and after 5 PM,
And this is for,
irrigation.
and how do we just define irrigation?
Not handheld,
Right,
Okay,
yeah,
so a sprinkler is irrigation,
okay.
yep.
How bad is the drought?
not bad.
We've been getting lots of rain.
Yeah, might get more.
Tomorrow.
32.35
Okay.
as of this morning. I check it every morning, I write it
And
down.
what's it?
And what do we need to get to?
We're not gonna get,
We won't
it'll
get
go
to
nothing
this
but up by yet from now on. It won't regroup,
Once,
recharge,
once we go above, it has to stay above for 60 days
yeah.
in order for us to get out of it. And we'll be in September, and, yeah.
Okay.
So, what does it need to get up to?
It's like 31.8 around there,
Yeah,
and we're like a foot, like a half a foot below where we should be or above, depending on how you're looking at it.
and every month it changes. So, yeah, it might be 31.08 this month, but once August comes, it's gonna be 31.12.
In addition to that, per our water management permit, you have to be in level 1 of the drought map, and we've stayed in level 2 significant. So you have to fill both
Yeah.
things, so that's why there's no,
So it's a combination of the monitoring well in Brewster and the DEP drought management. So they have to coincide. So, we hit the hydration station, Weston and Sampson. I would like to try and set up a tour of the DPW building for Thursday, if everybody is available
do it,
then.
yeah.
Okay,
this week, next week?
this week.
Okay.
It should be a fairly easy one to set up, I would think.
I
It's
just drew a
town
blank, so
department.
that would be the 30th?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, there's not much to it, really.
I'm not
Right.
sure, I
There's not
don't
much
think
to
I
it.
can make that, so,
Well, you and I will be taking a road trip then.
okay, Jason.
I'm gonna be, I got one with Ann, and we're gonna go over to Brewster.
I
and
can
then-
go to Brewster again,
I
whatever.
want to see the 60 acres.
But I might be able to make it, it depends. If
All
it's a
right, we'll have
rainy
to do it.
day, I
We can
might
set
be
that
able to
up, too.
make
Ed, will
it.
you do that?
That's an easy one.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's an easy one,
Yeah,
we'll do that.
that's what I thought.
Okay. Commissioners' report. We're working on getting a draft of that.
The
And
newsletter, is that what you're talking
The
about?
newsletter.
Yeah.
And we were thinking of having that in the spring and in the fall.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That sounds
Spring,
good.
everybody getting ready for summer,
Mm-hmm.
check your irrigation, da-da-da-da, that could be something on the spring. Fall, everybody get ready for winter.
and this would be done by email, is that what we're saying?
Should be bill insert, right? Or,
No, we're just gonna put it on our web.
okay,
Yeah,
Yeah.
the bill insert's a teeny.
yeah,
Yeah, put it on the web.
okay.
Oh, okay, on the web.
Yeah.
Can we put an insert in the bill? Or
No, they just said it's too small to have a full newsletter.
to tell people,
Like a buck slip, or like,
yeah, you
The
know.
website address,
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know, if you wanna get the full picture,
yeah.
Right,
Mhm.
our biannual report is here.
Yeah,
you know, another thing we should just keep in mind is those bills will be going out early in October. In case we want to add, you can add 2 slips if you have to, but anything about Route 28 that comes to mind at the time, I'm not suggesting anything.
yeah, that might be a
else.
little, buck slip might be a little bit, hey,
Yeah,
check this out.
the newsletter,
there might be some people don't even know what's going on, you know?
water department newsletter is
A lot
out,
of people didn't
you
know.
know.
Well, you know, unless you tell people where to get information, I mean,
They don't go.
I've been here 26 years and I have never had an
Mm-hmm.
occasion to go on the water department's website. so-
That's what I mean.
You know?
Yeah, that's right.
I have a meeting today working on the SDF rates with a company, Raftellus, and that is the system development fee. I do believe we talked about
tap
that.
fees.
So I'm moving forward with system
Great.
development fees with that. So you probably see me looking at my clock. It's an 11:30 meeting.
So we need to wrap it up?
So, no, I'm just telling everybody that
What
I'm,
are SDF?
system development fee. So whenever we go out, whenever a contractor taps our water main,
Okay.
8-inch water main, it's, let's say, it's $8,000 for them to tap it. Where did that $8,000 come from? Should it be more? Should it be?
Other towns charge as much as 40, 50, 100. This is a real revenue source we need to look into.
I agree.
So, from 1-inch taps, all the way up to 12-inch taps to.
Especially with all the building going on, with it
Yeah.
tapping in, you
Yeah.
know, everywhere.
And there's it's an equation that American Water Works Association came out with this equation, and it takes into consideration how many water tanks we have, how many pump stations we have. So this system development fee is money that we put back into our system for the growth that they're putting on our system.
Got it.
It's kind of like the major change that they just made in the building fees. They just did, you know, a whole new method, and the building permit fees, that's the word, went from just a few thousand to like 40,000, you know, and this is that dramatic for us.
Good.
So
Use the money.
I'm moving ahead with that, and that will be at 11:30 today. Harbor and Mill Road, we had just talked about that. That is going to be surveyed, so they're going to be surveying them. Apex has that, they're the engineering firm that has that contract. And that will be all engineered, so when Route 28 is complete, we can move forward with, that's already
Okay,
done.
so we were only 2,000 below the voted limit for the engineering for Harbor and Mill. So how are we gonna pay for having it surveyed? Because that money won't be voted for another year.
That's part of the contract.
Okay, thank you.
Yep, yep. And also working on a price for a unidirectional flushing program within town. That has not been done, I want to say, over 20 years. We've had a new tank put online and some other treatment facilities put online, and that needs to be redone. And that is part of the next step after the hydraulic model is complete. Unidirectional flushing.
Okay,
program.
what does that mean?
So that is, it's a water quality issue.
Yeah.
So what we do is we go out and we flush all the water mains. So, you know, when they go out and they do hydrant flushing,
Yeah.
this is what's called a unidirectional hydrant flushing. You actually take the water and you reverse flow of that, so it scours the water main and takes that tuberculation off, and it cleans, and
Interesting.
it cleans everything.
So you're
Okay.
pushing it back in
Pushing it
reverse.
backwards, yes. Yep. So,
Okay.
and, yeah, 3A and 3, no, for wastewater, no news there, and
I have a quick question.
Yeah.
There's a non-resident taxpayer meeting coming up August 10th, and I presume this department is presenting something.
I will be there, yes, I am.
Okay. Just wondering and hoping that you'll
I,
talk about.
I will be talking about I will be talking about the public outreach meeting.
Oh,
Yes.
I'm hoping that you can also talk about the mandatory water restrictions that are in place and why,
Mhm.
and also the whole reminder to people about maintaining their house even if they're not here.
Mhm.
And just give them a heads up that we're changing our policies regarding disaster rates, so, you know, they should be especially aware that there's not gonna be this backup for them if they decide that they're not gonna maintain their property.
You know, if I could, last year, we only had 17 applications for those, and we only approved 10. I'm kind of wondering if that's not raising a flag about something that, you know, might cause more questions and inquiries of the staff. then, I mean, they,
No, I
the
understand,
staff,
if it's a small amount, why announce to people that it's going on? But I guess maybe the thing to announce is that there is this seasonality kind of program, and they can reach out to Wellesley if they want.
that, I feel more
Yeah,
comfortable
okay.
with that.
Yeah, all
Yeah,
right.
only because the staff does a lot of talking with them before they even file an abatement. So,
Uh-huh.
you know, they do so much triage anyway, I wouldn't want to.
Oh, I got it.
And the
And I
issue
was-
isn't really the abatement, but to, it just makes sense to get your house ready. So,
Right.
you don't bust a
Yeah.
pipe
And we have
amazed how people
services.
don't.
and wipe out
Right.
all your sheet.
For the pipe after the
Yeah.
meter and things like that, they could be reminded of that.
And the seasonal thing.
The
But especially
seasonal
I think
thing.
the mandatory water restrictions, because I don't think there's even awareness that even though the signs are
Right.
up, if you're not looking for the signs, you may not even see them. Like if you're a seasonal person and you're coming in here and you're rushing to get X, Y, to,
I've had people come to me complaining about neighbors. They know I'm on the commission, they're saying, he's got his
Yeah.
sprinklers on, you need to go over and talk to him.
Yeah.
I've only had 2 last year. I don't want to tell you how many complaints I had the year before last.
I've had about 4.
It was so many, wasn't it, Jason? I was on the phone with him constantly, day after day after day, so enjoy your chair shift.
I personally was going out to some of these.
Yes, I had a
Yeah.
run on.
Well, they come in the
The,
bar and they're drinking.
The,
They get me.
The restriction, the water signs are great, much better
oh, they are, I know.
than the things that have all the color stripes.
Right,
Which I never
I know.
understood what that.
yeah, I know, we gotta
Yeah.
get rid of those. I know you have to leave, and I have 2 things I've gotta get in.
Oh.
Close to.
Okay,
close to
let's
time.
go, are you done with
Yes, I'm done.
superintendents? Okay, commissioners report. You can go
Okay.
first.
So I want to ask that I really think we should consider renaming it, but the disaster rate gets put back on the agenda so we can get back to work and complete it. We left it hanging and
Wasn't Dan getting us some information?
whatever, whoever. But normally our biggest run of abatements come in with the October bills because of which it doesn't cover irrigation anyway, but because of the irrigation and the high bill season. So I just want to get that back on the agenda. The other thing I have is, we've had an issue for many years. Enterprise funds pay for indirect expenses to the town. So in water, we pay $1 million a year for our indirect expenses, substantial out of our $7 million budget. That covers the health insurance of the employees, but it also covers things like a portion of the town administrator, a portion of the finance director, a portion of this. In wastewater, same thing. They upped us to 125 last year, which was a big up. So the thing is, and I'm doing this quick because I know he has to leave, back in the teens, before I was on the board, this was a policy, it's made an agreement with the town that was done by the water board, all right? And they voted on a policy and blah, blah, blah. Then we went into the years where the finance director was changing every year, and we, being, administration, Sandy Seega, would get a different number every year. It would start this big argument back and forth. The problem is that it holds up our budget. Like last year, they said, oh, water was late, we weren't late turning in our numbers, we were late getting the number from them to turn them in. So our new finance director has, or at least last year, she said that she would meet with us to come to a better agreement on what should be included. Should DPW be included, a portion of, should this not be included, and everything else. And I'd like to see, Sandy at whatever meeting next that we start that process. Otherwise, it's December, and, we wind up just accepting, which is what we did last year, their view. And it should be an agreement, between us and the town. And it's $1 million, so it's
Yeah,
really
it's fine.
substantial.
So you want it on the next agenda? Are you
Well-
going to ask Sandy to give us the talk? Or
I'm
what?
wondering if,
I know, but I'm just trying to narrow it down
Right,
to
I'm
these
wondering-
ideas into how we're going to
Correct.
respond.
So I'm wondering if, for our next agenda, maybe Sandy could send out the old information or something, or prepare something, and Sandy could talk to us in more detail than me trying to rattle this off,
Yeah.
and it's not even on the agenda. And then from that point on, maybe she could contact the finance director and we could
But-
figure out.
Let's ask her to contact the finance director and maybe get it on the agenda after that.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think that makes sense.
And
That
that
sounds
gives
good
us-
too,
that
just
gives
as
us-
long as we
Yeah.
get going on.
It's out there, but yeah, let's kind of tighten it up.
Yeah,
Any other
Okay.
commissioners report?
that's it.
No? The other thing I have is I'd still like to see a new sign up there, if we can. And I think we should
Share.
consider a Facebook page just for these, that doesn't have comments, that this is turned off, but that we could just post. That's the water department. I'm trying to keep us separate from town hall, and just anything we have, whether it's Route 28, anything like that, just a simple post. Doesn't have to be every day.
Putting in the hydration station.
Hydration
Yeah.
station, it's not only PR, but they will read Facebook. A lot of people will scour it, will do that.
Who wants to maintain that then?
Well, I'm just putting it out as an idea.
won't be-
I'm not great at this, but I could post something, it's,
Yeah.
What I found on the Brewster website, I was teasing Bob, was that they have a hydration map,
yes.
and they have pointed out all the ones that
Oh,
are
yeah.
running and the
Good
ones
idea.
that they plan to build.
And I should tell you, I did meet with Cindy Williams from the chamber, came over, and we're redoing the kiosk.
Yeah.
She's got all these people coming to do that park, and she's hand in hand with us on stuff, so we'll get some good PR on that. And that, she'll post that on her social media.
Yeah, yeah.
So, that's what I have to say. Anybody else? Adjournment,
Adjourn.
motion?
We got quite a bit.
Ed, you making a
Busy
motion?
meeting.
Move adjourned.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, it's a good meeting.
Good
Yeah,
meeting.
We're getting a lot of stuff done.
no, but nobody left.
Thank you.
I'm gonna leave this.